Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship Review and Reaction Round 45. Only one round to go. Don't be sad. It's ending. Just be happy we were here each and every week discussing this wonderful league. And by God, we've got something to discuss going into next week. There was a point, wasn't there? We'll get into it when Tom Lawrence scored for Derby County, where we thought there may well be very, very little to discuss next weekend. So let's get into all of this. We're going to go over each of the 12 games in the Championship this weekend. And we will try not to get dragged too much into what may or may not happen next weekend, because we can discuss that throughout the week and on the preview show. But certainly it's all set up for an interesting last week in the Championship. Before we go into any of that good stuff, let's say thank you to Russ, who is our fan sponsor, a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Thank you, Russ. He got involved over on Patreon. You can subscribe via Patreon. Exclusive shows over there. A little bit late with the Thursday Q&A this week. My apologies. You can also support via Super Chat any point in the broadcast. You know the deal there. And please hit the like button on YouTube. Help bring other people to the stream. Have your say and share your knowledge. With that being said, we should probably say some hellos in here to Liam and Chris and Nat and Carl. Who else is here? Tiny Spock is getting his can of Pepsi ready. Lovely stuff. Leeds 2021. Noah, Mr. E, Liam, Adam, Anir, Owen, QPR forever. Maxwell, Gaza. Did we say Noah already? I think I might have said him twice. Toby. Nice. What else? Who else are we saying to? Owen. In isolation, that's no good. I think we're all there. Robin, yeah, right. Let's begin then and look at this past week of results. And those eagle-eyed watchers will see we are going to go in reverse order again. I think you'll all agree it's a lot more interesting in the bottom half than it is at the top. So like we did last time, we are going to go from the bottom up rather than from the top down. I think you'll all understand why we would do that. There are our results. They're ticking along the bottom in the running order. I'll just crack through them on Sofa's score there. Wednesday 0, Forest 0 was the 12:30. Blues 0, Cardiff 4. Brentford 2, Watford 0. Huddersfield 1, Coventry 1. Luton 1, Borough 1. Millwall 4, Bristol City 1. Jeez. Norwich 4, Reading 1. Preston 2, Barnsley 0, Rotherham 1, Blackburn 1, Stoke 0, QPR 2, Swansea 2, Derby 1, oof, Wickham 1, Bournemouth 0. And Wickham 1, Bournemouth 0 is where we are going to start. Wickham's, well, really pretty decent end to the season goes on. Bournemouth on the bench, maybe, dearie me. And it was a 1-0 win for Wickham. And they go into the last day of the season still in touch. Just to get this out of the way really quickly so we don't have to bang on and on, we will do it. Wickham, last day of the season, need Derby to lose. They need Rotherham to heavily lose one of their last two. Sheffield Wednesday to win by a single goal. And then the current goal difference swing needed in Wickham's favour would be 11, 17 or 12. So, yes, we could have a scenario where Wickham are tied on 43 points with a couple of other teams. Should they win? I think it's Borough they've got on their last game of the season. But the goal difference means that we can't say Wickham are down yet, but the odds are very, very slim, despite the small mathematical possibility that they're going to do it. But they've done themselves proud in the second half of the season, and they're just going to be lamenting, A, a 7-game losing streak at the start of the season, and B, 1 win in 17 as well in the middle of the season. And however good they've been to end the season, they're going to ultimately, we think, possibly even by goal difference or by a single game's worth of points, they're going to fall short. Anyway, here are your teams there. Stockdale, Grimmer, Stewart, Jacobson, Onyedinma, McCarthy, Adinair, Thompson, McClary, Musquet and Ikpeazu, who's on the score sheet again. Bournemouth, who I've barely mentioned in my preamble here, in those playoff positions, back-to-back defeats now since, well, it's not fair to say since the playoffs were confirmed, because that first defeat came a day before the playoffs were confirmed, didn't it? However, they are still, you call them out of form with back-to-back defeats. Probably not fair after 7 straight wins, but a few players rested. Begovic, Rico, Mepham, Carter, Vickers, Stacey. So no Steve Cook at the back. Brooks, Riquelme and Stanislas, Pearson and Wilshere with a double pivot. Sam Surridge up the top. Ikpeazu is going to get the only goal in this one. And it's an excellent goal. I'm sure I've seen him score a goal very, very similar to this, where he curls it into the far corner. I'm sure we've seen this season. And Ikpeazu does the business. So I think we've already been through the permutations down there at the bottom. They're going to get less far-fetched, honestly, as we talk through Derby and Swansea. The Derby and Swansea match, and then Wednesday and Rotherham, etc. So Bournemouth, with the playoffs in mind, Brentford look like they've got third. Brentford are guaranteed third, already. So it's between Bournemouth, Barnsley, Swansea for switching positions, and who's going to end up in that 6th place spot to go against Brentford. At the moment, well, we can talk about this at the end of the week, but at the moment it's going to be Brentford, Barnsley and Bournemouth, Swansea. Again, Wycombe, they've done themselves proud to be this close, given they were 12 points adrift at one point, weren't they, from safety not that long ago even. And we could get the miraculous everybody finishing on 43 points, but Wycombe there with the goal difference is minus 33, and I think in the end that may well do for them. Let's just have a little look. I'm just going to stick something up on the bottom here. There we go. We're all prepared. Please don't comment on my internet. Please. Wycombe to bounce back next season. Do you know what? In fact, I'll make the picture smaller. We'll go over there. Yes, we will see. 29 games. Wycombe had 19 points to get to 40. Unbelievable. Really, really good work from them. You don't think Ikpeazu can put 14 past Borough? Unlikely. Really, really unlikely. But there we go. For Wycombe to take it to the final day is unbelievable. Wycombe with the longest price to win in all 3 divisions. Boom. Wycombe are definitely staying up there. Nice. Right. Let's move on. And we are going on to game number 2. I'm just going to flip messages there, but if I need to put that other one back, I will do. Again, apologies if my picture is not currently crystal clear. Please do not let it ruin your life in any way, shape or form. We're going to talk about Sheffield Wednesday and Forest, which ended 0-0, which we did on the watch along. And of course, it would have been better for Forest, Sheffield Wednesday, to get the win. Sorry, as I'm banging all the wrong buttons. There we go. But not the end of the world, this 0-0 draw. And could have been a lot worse. Missed penalty in there by Lewis Grab. And I say missed penalty. Good save for Westwood in goal after a bit of a hapless challenge. Sheffield Wednesday, there you go. We'll do this quickly at the start. Need Wycombe to not win and swing 13 goals. We think that's unlikely. They need a win over Derby. They also need Rotherham to post 3 points or fewer. If Rotherham do win one of those last 2, then Wednesday will also need a 5-goal swing. So Rotherham could be an absolute fly in the ointment for Sheffield Wednesday this final week, but they could also only score 1 point or fewer, or 2 points or fewer, and not be an issue. We don't know what's going to happen. I can tell you more after tomorrow night when Rotherham play Luton. But let's just go through this game. It was Westwood in goal for Wednesday. Palmer, Hutchison, Borner, Patterson and Reach, Bannon, Pelopessi, Green, Harris and Windass. For Forest, Samba, Christie, Worrell, McKenna, Ribeiro, Garner, Yates, Cafu, Knockhart, Graben and Krovinovic. I'm going to stay on this picture to avoid irritating comments about my internet. There is the penalty. It was a horrible attempt at playing out from the back, which went miserably wrong. Westwood didn't actually touch Knockhart, but he clearly went right through him and right call. I think everyone agreed on the stream and in the studio watching that one. But Lewis Graben down to his left-hand side there. Westwood makes the save. And, of course, as we've just suggested, at the point where this game was done, Derby knew that if they just scored a single point in their game, that Wednesday were done. But, of course, we know after the fact that that did not happen. And we do get now this massive head-to-head game between Sheffield Wednesday and Derby next week. We'll talk about Rotherham and then we'll talk about Derby in a minute. For Forest, a bit of a damp squib end to the season for them. No wins in 5 and just a little bit of a lack of focus and intensity possibly there. But really with the missed penalty, they should certainly have been in the lead at half-time. And then who knows what is going to happen. A very Houghton game, wasn't it? Just Wednesday looked awful, but also can't say Derby are much better. Agreed. 5 goals, no problem. Remember, Nat, it's only a 5-goal swing. So it could be 2 for Wednesday and then possibly 3 the other way against Rotherham if it needs be. We've seen stranger things as well. Anybody else? Typical early kickoff. Yeah, they're not the best sometimes, is it? Anybody else on that game? I think we are all good. I'm going to stay on the split screen for the time being. We're struggling with StreamYard and internet and things of that nature. Today, we thank you for your patience. Let's move on to Rotherham. And this is where things get really, really interesting, don't they? Rotherham 1, Blackburn 1. Again, we know that there was a point in this game where Rotherham were behind and Derby were winning. And there was that possibility that everybody was done. But Rotherham equalised and Swansea obviously turned the game around and won 2-1 by God. Let's just give you the permutation really, really quickly. So for Rotherham, 6 points would mean that Derby need to beat Wednesday by at least 9 goals. Especially that 6 points for Rotherham is assuming they only win by 1 goal in either game. 4 points for Rotherham over the next 2 would mean Derby drawing with Wednesday would be enough for them. We'd still need goal difference. So, yeah, it would be enough for Rotherham, of course, sorry. 3 points and Derby losing would likely be enough given goal difference as well, because they're ahead of Sheffield Wednesday on the goal difference. 2 points or fewer is not going to be enough. The long and the short of it is if Rotherham beat Luton on Tuesday, they put themselves in a really, really good position to be able to do this, given their goal difference and given the other two. One of them they can't both win. One of them has to drop points, for goodness sakes. So it was 1-1. Blackman in goal for Rotherham. Ihekwe, Wood, McDonald, Ogbene, Giles, Wing, McDonald, Lindsay, Ladapo, Smith for Blackburn, Kaminsky, Nyambe, Lenihan, Howard, Bellis, Bell, Johnson, Travis, Brereton, Rothwell, Gallagher, and Armstrong. And I think our internet issues. Oh, God, as soon as I've done that, I've been given the warning again. What can you do, hey? What can you do? Sorry, let's bung that back up and we'll go back over here. Absolute sod's law as soon as I mention it. There we go. Adam Armstrong going through some mistake by Angus MacDonald. And Armstrong's finished the season really, really well. He's on 25 now, is he? I think 1 behind Pookie and 4 behind Tony. Of course, we'll talk about him in a little bit. Here is the equaliser, though, from Lewis Wing from the free kick. A vital point for Rotherham. And I think if you look at the numbers, I think Blackburn, look at that. Blackburn had 7 big chances. Wow. So it wasn't the most viable performance by Rotherham. But hey, they've been in a lot of tight games where they've lost by 1. So for once, they get the rub of the underlying metrics, don't they? So Blackburn up on 54. Bit of a sense they've underachieved this season, but they're not the story, really. Rotherham, if they had not equalised, and at that point where Lawrence had given Derby the lead, would have been down. We now know, I'll say it one more time, look at the goal difference. Derby minus 22, Rotherham minus 16, Wednesday minus 21, Wycombe minus 33. So Rotherham really are miles ahead of anyone on the goal difference. You're looking at a 5-goal swing, and the only way, that's the only one, isn't it? Derby to Rotherham or Sheffield Wednesday to Rotherham would be a 5 or a 6-goal swing where you could see, and we did see it with Forest and Swansea last season. We got the 6-goal swing, didn't we? It was 4-1 for Swansea and 4-1 against Nottingham Forest. So we have seen a 6-goal swing in recent times in 30 minutes as well, wasn't it? Incredible end to last season. It's going to be so interesting to see what Rotherham do. There is a chance that Rotherham, if they win on Tuesday, they can lose that last game of the season, providing Sheffield Wednesday beat Derby, and then Rotherham will survive on goal difference. And we just have a whole slew of teams possibly finishing on 43 points, which, knowing the Championship, is probably exactly what will happen because it's a mad league. Thank you very, very much, Owen, for a super chat. $10. Very, very kind. Wycombe need at least a 15 goals. I've got to read them out, Charlie. I have got to read them out. Anyone? Sky showing Luton versus Rotherham on Tuesday. Yeah, sadly, I am busy elsewhere. I'll see if I can work on that. Surprisingly, Sky have chosen to show Derby v Sheffield Wednesday. There we go. I do not blame them in the slightest. With Blackman's one-on-one save feat, Armstrong at the end be vital or inconsequential. One of the two for sure. Bottom 4 all to finish on 43 points would be incredible, wouldn't it? I think Rotherham have to beat Luton on Tuesday because I can't see them getting a win against Cardiff. Who the hell knows? Anything can happen on the last day of the season. Can't it? I'm going to keep on the split screen because of just the continual internet problems today. Let's talk about Derby then, and the incredible losing streak just continues. How many defeats is that on the trot for Derby? I think it's 7, isn't it? Just an incredible powder puff run. And also, look at that down the bottom there. 2 shots on target for Swansea, and they win the game 2-1. Derby are just so fragile at the moment, aren't they? Oh, my God. And I got very excited about this one on the Super Stream. They lead 1-0 just after half-time, and they're going to end up losing 2-1. But here is the lay of the land. Derby, a win for Derby next week equals safety unless Rotherham gets 6 points. In which case, then Derby, I think it needs to be 10 then, doesn't it? Because if Rotherham have got 6 points, you've got to add another 2 goals onto their goal difference minimum, haven't you? A draw for Derby equals safety unless Rotherham get 4 points. So a draw plus Rotherham 4 points over the 2 would mean Derby are relegated. defeat equals guaranteed relegation for Derby. So that's the one thing we do know. If Derby lose their last game, they are down because either Sheffield Wednesday will go past them or Rotherham, if they can get their 3 points and they don't win one game 1-0 and lose the other game 7-0, then they would go past them as well. So that is the one certainty for Derby next week in amongst all the permutations. If Derby lose, they're down. Derby lose one more game, they are relegated. Let that sink in, Derby fans, sadly. Woodman in goal for Swansea. It was Roberts, Cabango, Bennett, Bidwell, Smith, Danda, Grimes, Whittaker, Cullen, Lowe for Swansea. For Derby, Roos, Byrne, Edmondson, Clark, Forsyth, Shinnie, Knight, Josh Fiac, Kazim Richards, Waghorn, and Lawrence. Let's see the goals. And it was a diving header by Tom Lawrence just after half-time. And again, I'll reiterate, at this point, Rotherham are losing. So at this point, everything's done and Derby is safe. However, Morgan Whittaker, sold from Derby to Swansea earlier in the season, obviously scores. Goal line tech needed to help out with that one. And great goal, actually, Connor Roberts on the volley, cushion volley with the right foot, sticks that one home. Lovely goal, 2-1. Not a lovely goal at all if you're a Derby fan. So one more time, let's look at the table. Let's have a look at the top. I promise, guys, we can get on the beach in a second and talk about loads of goals and some inconsequential matters in the other games. But Swansea in fourth with that victory. It looks like, no, it's guaranteed that Swansea will avoid Brentford. So we know Swansea and Brentford won't be playing each other in the playoff semi-finals. However, oh no, is that true? What's the goal difference? 56-37. No, Swansea are not going to be playing Brentford in it. Even if Barnsley and Bournemouth both win, Barnsley's goal difference, you're looking at a big sort of 10-goal swing there. So 5-0 one way, 5-0 the other, or, you know, come up with whatever maths you want. So down at the bottom, one more time, as you can see that table, if Derby lose next week, they will finish the season on 43 points. And by virtue of the fact they're playing Sheffield Wednesday will finish above Derby because their goal difference is already superior and it will be increased by winning the game, obviously. So very clear one there to begin with for Derby. If they lose, they go below Sheffield Wednesday at a minimum and will be relegated. Now, the big fly in the ointment is Rotherham, obviously, who could go past both of those sides with their game in hand. If Derby draw next week, they will finish above Sheffield Wednesday. But if Rotherham could get 4 points, their goal difference is minus 16 to minus 22. So Rotherham would stay up because Derby's goal difference won't change if they draw, and Rotherham's won't be hindered because they're going to be winning and drawing if they get 4 points. I hope you're still following. If Derby win, the only way they can go down is if Rotherham win both of their remaining games, in which case Derby would be relegated on goal difference, unless, of course, Derby are able to get that. It'd be a 6-goal swing. So you'd be looking at Derby in that case to win and stay up when Rotherham win 2 games. They need to beat Wednesday by 9, don't they? Because the goals scored would tie up on 8 minimum. So it'd be a minimum of 9. Oof. There we go. Too much math. It was never my strong point. Let's have a look at your comments. Some things haven't changed. Derby's performance against us on the first day of the season remains the joint worst in all our games this season, in my opinion. That was under Koku as well. What on earth has happened to Derby? Awful season. The pressure is still all on Derby. Derby win, Rotherham can only stop the Derby draw. Derby win, Rotherham can stop them. Derby draw, Rotherham can stop them. Yeah, we just done all of that, Charlie. I think we've done all of that. Mutually assured destruction at Pride Park coming up. 11-goal swing involving Swansea in the playoffs. Can't rule it out. Well, I'm going to. What are the chances Millers do a Tyke, stay up on the last day and playoffs next season? There we go. Let's move on. Derby will just park the bus, which they have every right to. That might not be enough, Nat, though, depending on what Rotherham are doing. Rotherham can really stitch Derby up by winning on Tuesday. That would really, really make things tough, because then we know the second you kick off those games and you add a point onto everyone, Rotherham are out of the bottom three. I mean, they'd be out of the bottom three before then on the goal difference. So going to be very, very, very interesting, isn't it? Let me just put my internet thing up again. I'm having an absolute blooming nightmare with the internet today. It's just not sorting itself out, whatever we do. I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for not filling the comments with irritating complaints. We are trying our best here, and you are being very patient. And my patience is wearing very, very thin, as you can probably tell. Where are we going next? Right, we can go on to the beach really now, and we're going to go Huddersfield 1, Coventry 1. Both sides nice and safe, these two. So some beach ball at the end of the season here. Nothing riding on this game in the end. Schofield, Rowe, Keogh, Sarr, Toffolo for Huddersfield. O'Brien, Hogg, Bakuna, Holmes, Sonogo and Karoma. For Cov, Wilson, Rose, McFadzean, Hyam, McCallum, Darbo, Harmer, James, O'Hare, Walker and Gyökeres. Here are the two goals in this one. Look very carefully. They are there. Boom. Yeah, this one goes right through Schofield, doesn't it? Who's sticking that goal in? Excuse me, all over the place here. Jordan Shipley with the goal. Hamer sets him up, but yeah, through the keeper on that one. Here is the equaliser. Danny Ward on the back post, managing to stick that one home for 1-1. And I think you'd have to say, given what we know about both of these teams and these clubs, and that where both have come from, I think they would have taken 17th and 20th. Maybe Huddersfield would have liked to have gone a bit higher under Corberon, obviously, but there were no guarantees. We knew there was no money there. First season in there. And they're on 48. We've said all season 45 to survive, and that has been the case, has it? Lots of people get very excited and project 50 points, is going to be what you need. But at the moment, the max it will be is 47. And I dare say it might be less than that as well. Let's see if we can get some comments here. Best league in the world, absolutely. Anybody? Huddersfield need a new keeper next season? Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Strangely, he made a couple of other good saves, didn't he? But big one there. Matt, both Huddersfield and Coventry went 75% in this one. Draw was a fair result. Cov might be the only newly promoted team to stay up. Good point there. Rotherham and Wickham both in the bottom three. Good job by Coventry and by Huddersfield this season. Rotherham will get something from Luton, says David. You can see Wednesday beating Derby. Therefore, Derby will be relegated next season. Love the championship, actually. A new keeper potentially needed, but all eyes are on next season, hopefully improving if our budget allows it. Remember, for Coventry as well, people like O'Hare, Harmer, there were other players, Walker probably, have all gone up in value as well. So tremendous stuff. Will Corberon still be in charge next season? Yeah, he will be, I think. And I suspect unless he's in the bottom six around January time, that would be the thing where they might get a bit fed up. But I don't really know what they're going to expect, having the parachute payments essentially were paid off to the old owner, and he basically has no money. So we all know how that goes in the championship. Let's move on. Where are we going next? We are going to Millwall 4, Bristol City 1. Bristol City's horrific run is seemingly never ending. So I think we can now add on another game And someone could probably check this out for me while we're watching. I think over 30 games now, 30 games, well over half a season, Bristol City are the worst team in the league, have accumulated the fewest points. And it's a 4-1 defeat here at Bristol City. There are your teams. Get your comments in on this one. Bialkowski, Romeo, Evans, Cooper, Malone, McNamara, Mitchell, Woods, Bennett in central midfield, Wallace and Bradshaw. For Bristol City, O'Leary, Mariappa, Callas, Baker, wow, Rowe, Hunt, Palmer, Lansbury, Masengo, Conway, good to see him on the score sheet. Shame it wasn't in better circumstances. Wells, the goal scorer. Nigel Pearson has signed the contract now. He will be Bristol City manager next season. What's he got himself into, hey? There's the opening goal. Jed Wallace, counter-attack. God, look at those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bristol City players scrambling to get back to him, and they cannot quite get there. Here is goal number 2. It's the equaliser. Not Bialkowski and Cooper's finest hour there to let Conway in, but great to see the youngster getting his goal there. Another one for the Scott Malone highlight reel. Half volleys that one in off the far post. Lovely finish by Malone. Billy Mitchell, you love to see it. Same as Conway, youngster on the score sheet. Brilliant stuff. 3-1. And Tom Bradshaw through and sticks that one home. 4-1. Let's have a look and see where they both are in the table. So Millwall 11th. They now cannot finish in 8th place, where they have done a couple of times in the last 3 seasons. Still up there in the top half, seemingly with another gear probably, which they didn't quite reach this season, did they? And potentially they could finish as high as 9th if results go for them during round 46. Bristol City are going to be safe. They've got 51 points. They've lost 24 games, which is more than Sheffield Wednesday and the same amount as Derby. And honestly, Bristol City look like they're going to be staying up based on Dean Holden's first 15 games this season, because the form since then has just been atrocious, really, hasn't it? What shall we see in these comments? Anir, we lack creativity in the middle yet again. Even with Palmer, our defenseman, non-existent throughout the game, let us down. We were full value for their 3 points, more ruthless. A nice day out on the beach. You love to see it, don't you? Kiss me quick hats. 99 flakes galore. Mason Bennett. Oh, he played the whole match. Unbelievable. As one side as a 4-1, you see. City offered nothing except their goal. Bristol City need a big summer. They could be in trouble next season. Amen. Diabolical City first season, considering they were, well, quite, in the playoff picture for a lot of the first half of the season, weren't they? Pearson suggested the fact that Bentley might be in his way, hinting the fact that he will get more opportunities. This O'Leary, the goalkeeper, interesting. Players have just down tools and they just don't care. Maybe similar thing being accused of the Ipswich players as well at my club, but yes, when you know the big change is coming, big changes needed over the summer. Bristol City are lucky they did well in the first half. Chris shouldn't get carried away. Bristol City, to put it politely, were not very good. Malone on the verge of signing. Where would we be without that 1 win in 16 mid-season run? Absolutely. Hopefully Pearson is given the tools to rebuild the squad. We will see. We will see. It's going to be tricky. Right, moving on. Birmingham 0, Cardiff 4. And yes, caveat Birmingham young team, but take a bow, Harry Wilson, who surely this is the best hat-trick in the championship this season. Absolutely sensational hat-trick from Harry Wilson in this one. But yes, caveat ahoy. A lot of young players blooded by Lee Bowyer in this one for sure. It was G-Cock in goal. He played the opener, didn't he, against Brentford. Cogley, Roberts, Friend and Seddon. Miller and Stirk are the wide players. 2 more youngsters in there. Sunjic, Harper, Cosgrove gets a start finally after a couple of million quid was dropped on him. I think it might be his first start, isn't it? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Lecco in goal, and Mick McCarthy probably looked at this and thought, right, chance to get 3 points, up the table a bit, make my season look better. Full on here. Phillips, Pack, Flint, Nelson, Brown, and G. Bakuna rolls. Wilson, Coyle gets the start. Kiefer, Moore up top. And here are the goals. And yeah, I know he splits opinion a little bit, Harry Wilson, doesn't he? But how good is that? So bad goal kick. He has the one touch. His body's not in the right position really to either have the shot or slide in whoever that is running through the middle, probably Coyle, isn't it? And he just so quickly with the outside of his left foot, before G-Cock can get back towards the goal, slices it into the far top corner. Absolutely brilliant finish by Wilson. Here's his second. Through the wall, round the wall, kind of bounces before it goes in for 2-0. This is a great goal by Mark Harris as well. Across it goes, slams that one in. Some really good finishing by Cardiff in this game. And this one was even better, wasn't it? Harry Wilson curls that into the far corner for a tremendous hat-trick there. Take a bow, Harry Wilson, on that one. Birmingham have done all their work. They're blooding youngsters. Bit of a shame it was such a heavy defeat given how good they've been. But all eyes on the summer now, and Bowyer retooling for next season. Cardiff, I know how Mick McCarthy works. He wants 7th place. He wants to say that he finished 7th in the table. There will be no resting players. He will play a full-strength team. And they're involved in it's Rotherham, isn't it? So they're involved in one of the big, important games. Have I got that right? I think it's Rotherham for them next week. Let's have a look. Will, always going to go this way once Bowyer announced the team. Fair play to Cardiff. Very unusual for a loss to mean nothing. Takes getting used to. Absolutely. First stat saying first hat-trick in the Championship. He scored all from outside the box. You love to see it. Wilson has scored 6 goals this season, 5 against Birmingham. Unbelievable. Wilson's first goal was sublime. The others weren't bad either. Yeah, tremendous hat-trick. This is the thing with Wilson, though. He's just this white elephant because Liverpool will want like 20 million quid for him. And it's just not going to happen. No one in the Championship is going to pay that. And I don't think he gets a Premier League gig. So, yeah, going to be very, very interesting to see how that one does indeed play out. Right, moving on. Where are we going next, guys? Blackburn, Rotherham, Stoke. And I'm going to moan about Stoke. Have we got any Stoke fans in the chat here? Because I'm so underwhelmed now. So underwhelmed by Stoke. Just seemed like as soon as Tyrese Campbell got injured, their season virtually finished there and then. And they're currently in 14th. And they could finish 15th as well. And this is a year 3 parachute team with Bet365 as the owners, Michael O'Neill as the manager, some good, highly paid players there. And it's just so underwhelming for them to end up in 14th. And I'm not only bitter because I had them to finish in the playoffs. There's a second season Stoke have completely mugged me off. But let's give some credit to QPR in this one. I know we're playing beach ball, but QPR just very, very good now since January time. Very good indeed, in fact. And well done to Mark Warburton. The complete opposite, really, of Stoke. They've sort of swapped positions, haven't they, in the second half of the season, these two. There are your teams. Davis, Smith, Bart, Suter, Norrington Davis, Mikel, Timon, Matondo, Klukas, Powell, and Fletcher. That is not a bottom half of the table 14th, 15th place team, is it? Not for 1 minute. QPR, Dieng in goal, Dickey, DeVries, Barbe, Kake, Wallace, Chair, Johansson, Willock, Dykes and Austin. And Dykes and Austin look decent up front together now, don't they? That still doesn't really do that goal justice. First of all, because it's a complete giveaway. There was a lot of beach ball played, like I said, on Saturday. Complete giveaway, quick turnaround by Dykes. Austin absolutely drills that in the corner. Really, really Smart finish by Austin. This second goal by QPR is absolutely superb. If you haven't seen this one, go out of your way to see it. Really lovely 1-2 touch build up. Every player sprinting and moving the ball on quicker, and Kake sticks it in. Okay, he might have a bit of an issue when we come to goal of the week as regards Harry Wilson, but it's an absolutely brilliant goal, that second QPR goal. Do check that one out. Really floats my boat, that type of goal, with a lovely move from left to right, quick passing, good movement, brilliant stuff. And QPR, 9th position, really, really good. That really good considering. There was some Warburton outs and we're going to finish in the bottom 6 earlier in the season, and now well up the table. They just need to get over the line in the last game, and a draw 66 would guarantee a top 10 finish in that last game. They could get above Cardiff depending on what Rotherham do, which is obviously going to be of great interest to us on the channel. Stoke, I think I've said my piece on Stoke. Rather underwhelming, I would suggest. Jack, I would consider giving O'Neill the sack if I was Stoke. Very disappointing season. No sense of progression whatsoever after a promising start. Really happy that Kake scored. Been at the club since he was 7. Brilliant stuff. First goal, Anton. What a goal it was as well. Matondo was excellent. And Stoke blamed Nathan Jones. Pleased for Kake. Came up through the ranks. Looking forward to next season. Optimistic. And also, for QPR, I know there's been a couple of busts, but if Dykes ends up being a good signing, Dickey has been a good signing. I think Willock will end up being a good signing. The recruitment of the Eze money, or the spending of the Eze money, has been in the main good, hasn't it? So well done. I think Michael O'Neill is safe as houses. Wonder if Norrington Davis regrets leaving Luton for Stoke. Yeah, I suspect he does, to be honest, but I suspect that might have been his parent club and his agent and whatnot. Bet QPR fans are glad they got Austin instead of Rhodes in January. Norrington Davis, I think Norrington Davis will be all right in the end. So let's not be too smug, Luton fans. We obviously want the player to do well, but he's going to be finishing below Luton in the table for sure. Stoke probably in the same bracket as Preston, and Blackburn, Bristol City as underachievers. Mark Warburton proving himself once again as a top championship manager. Yeah, it's only really Forest, wasn't it? And he only got about 3 months in Forest, and that was Marianakis. So, maybe if you give Warburton time, he will do good things. Right, let's talk about Preston. They just got mentioned. Preston have won 3 on the trot under Frankie McAvoy. I'm not sure he's going to be getting the Preston job full time, but lovely, lovely stuff. They beat Barnsley 2-0 in this one. Maybe Barnsley could be forgiven. They've earned their playoff place, and maybe they can have a bit of a rest. But that doesn't seem Big Val's style, really, does it? And not at the races in this one, losing 2-0. Iverson in goal for Preston. Story, Lindsay, Hughes, Cunningham, Van der Berg wide, Ledson, Whiteman, Brown, Evans, Buck, Hazen on there for Preston. For Barnsley, Collins in goal, Anderson, Hellick, Solbauer, Britton, Styles, Palmer, Mowat, Woodrow, DK, Chaplin. It's the fabled Barnsley team that have been so good this season, isn't it? Here are the goals. A bit of a mess, this one. Who stuck that first goal in, guys? I can't even see. I need to go back to SofaScore. Jordan Story with the opening goal. And Ched Evans, who I think has been a really good signing. Unfortunately, people can't look past a criminal issue that happened many years ago when it comes to Ched Evans. But I don't know. I wonder if he'd have been a good signing for Derby, being they can't really score any goals. I suppose they took Lee Gregory, didn't they? But Evans has certainly contributed at Preston, hasn't he? Here are the tables. And Preston could, if they get a fair wind, finish above Luton and get into the top half, although it looks like they need a lot to go their way on the final day. And of course, Luton do have a game in hand. So it doesn't look like Preston are going to be finishing in the top half. But I think good news for those Preston fans, those 10 points and McAvoy giving it a little bit of a push this season. Ivy, is that Valerian Ishmael, the wrong way around? Wasn't happy, but he did put some younger players on the sub half time. Lots of Barnsley fans seemed to think it was a game to keep fitness up. Shocked at this result. McAvoy should be given the job permanently. He's shown up Neil, who had totally lost his way. Preston beat us fair and square. One to watch next season. Going to be tricky. Remember who's coming down. Always makes things hard work, doesn't it? Preston defence was brilliant. To be fair, let Story score when he's not scored in 2 years. If Preston aren't going to rebuild and invest, don't see why McAvoy shouldn't be given. That's a fair point. Yeah. Decent job thus far with limited tools. As Barnsley fan, rather relax and lose than risk their injuries. Only Brentford have picked up more points than Preston over the last 6 matches. Let's move on. Where are we going next? Sorry, do I have to wait for the ticker? Or can I figure out? It's going to be Luton, isn't it? Luton 1, Borough 1. And as I just suggested, Luton look fairly nailed on to finish in the top half now. It would take something of quite a big slip and things to go against them. So tip of the cap to Luton, who have had a fantastic season, haven't they? And look, they've got Warnock there, haven't they? 1 shot on target and a 1-1 draw in this one. And Luton move on to 61 points. 4 points in the last 2 games for Luton would take them to 65 points, which is just a brilliant season. Fair play. I know Barnsley have stolen a lot of the League One or recent League One team's thunder, but Luton have been excellent, haven't they? But they're not going to get the win in this one and miss a penalty too. I hadn't even picked that up on the highlights. Deary me, must have gone too fast today. Sluger in goal for Luton. Bree, Pearson, Bradley, Naismith, Ray, and Panzu, Cornick, Dewsbury Hill, Adebayo, and Collins. For Borough, Archer, McNair, Hall, Boller, Howson, Johnson, Cabano, Saville, Coulson, Watmore, and Bolassi. Here is the goal, and we are genuine. I really could have scored this one. Look at that. He's nearly in the goal there, Glenn Ray. I think it was Naismith hit the bar and it bounces down, and Ray reacts quickest, heads that one in. Here is the equaliser. My apologies for not screenshotting the penalty. This was prior to the penalty. Duncan Watmore, who's been a really good signing for Borough this season, getting on the end of that and headering home. I think did take deflection off someone on the way in as well. So Luton, short term, we're disappointed not to win this one, but big picture, an excellent season for Luton. And I mean, really, when you think about it, Borough have moved from relegation trouble under Woodgate to just outside the playoffs under Warnock. And even at his advanced age, Warnock, you still wouldn't back against a bit of a busy summer and moving up a couple more positions next season. So I think it's got to be a thumbs up for both of those 2 clubs, really, hasn't it? What are we saying here in the chat? Nathan Jones, very much a round peg and a round hole at Luton. I'd like to see Nathan Jones points per game just across the board as Luton manager. It must be magnificent. Collins penalty miss, should have won. Dominated the game. Jordan Archer penalty save. You can still find them. We didn't have our shooting boots on. Rare penalty miss from Collins. Luton have had a great season. I think Luton will lose to Rotherham. Certainly us, cat amongst the pigeons brigade, would like Luton to lose to Rotherham just because it would make complete carnage on the final day. But Luton is no pushover for Rotherham on Tuesday. What else have we got here? Proud of the boys. Nice to finish above Stoke. We always get these funny little rivalries. I'm still having to play referee between Leeds and Villa fans all the while, even though they won't admit there's a rivalry. Am I going to have to play referee between Luton and Stoke fans now? What else have we got? Borough rising tide coincides with signing Jordan Archer. Of course it does. There we go. Right, moving on. And we are up to Reading. So we need to say congratulations to Norwich, who were confirmed as champions. And Norwich win 4-1. Some beach ball in this one. And, oh, dear. Reading, I think Norwich could have had about 8 goals in this one. And half of them seem to be set up by Reading back passes from the highlights that I saw. At least 3 big chances came from, and a couple of the goals came from Reading back passes, oddly. Norwich just trying to keep the intensity up and get into 99 points. Reading in that position now of being on the beach, and they did not cope with the drop-off in expectation intensity very, very well. Did they get hammered here by Norwich? Krull in goal for Norwich. Aaron, Zomabama-Deli, Hanley, Quintia, McLean, Skip, Buendia, Dowell, Cantwell, Pookie. For Reading, Raphael, Yidam, Holmes, Gibson, Richards. So no Morrison or Moore there against Buendia and Pookie. Good luck with that. Tetek and Laurent. So the Laurent and Rinomota partnership broken up. Ejaria, Swift and Elise. That's nice to see. Elise, sorry. And Lucas Zhao up top. Reading actually took the lead here from a set play in this one. That is Josh Laurent. Sorry, a bit blurry on the back post, nodding that one in. And yeah, this was the first of the bad back passes from Reading. Ends up with Dowell, who sticks it in the net for his first. Lovely ball by, I think it's Cantwell, clips this one over for Dowell. Really poor on the near post from Raphael there, who seems to make himself smaller rather than bigger. And Dowell manages to find the far corner. But lovely assist. I have to give praise for that one. This is a great goal. This is the left back Quintia swinging the free kick into the top corner. How many Norwich players have scored from direct free kicks this season? Vrancic, Dowell, Quintia. Brilliant stuff from Norwich from the set plays. And, oh, my God, another horrific back pass. And you see Timo Pookie, and is that Lewis Gibson? I can't see, blurry there. Just walking the ball into the net. And, of course, Armstrong had equalised Pookie in the Golden Boot race as well. So Pookie moved one above him into second place. And, yeah, I think we've spent a lot of the season congratulating Norwich. So we'll say well done. They are champions. They are 8 points clear because of the next game we're going to talk about. 96, and they could get 99 against Barnsley. They've been way too strong for the league this season. Reading, could they get caught by Cardiff in the last round? Forgive me, I don't know who Reading are playing. Not that clued in on any games other than Wycombe, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham and Derby at the moment. But we will get into that. Right. What are we saying in here? My stream in the Luton game. Nick, at the moment, no, I'm not going to because I've got to do Ipswich, but I might see if I can change that. Leave that with me. I'd like to put it that way. Game of two halves. Didn't think we looked interesting until the second when the floodgates opened. Looking forward to see what Reading do over the summer. Could go either way depending on sales. Did Reading players have Norwich to score on their bets? There you go. Reading didn't have the heart for the fight. Annoying knee-jerk reactions on the message boards. They well played Norwich. Won despite having to let Delia kiss them all before the match. Nice. Pleased for Dale. Kick-started his career. Re-kick-started, if that's a word. 2 goals directly from Reading mistakes. Norwich won't get that next season. Still, they've been by far the best team this season. I think Dowley's good, but will need to prove he definitely needs to prove his Premier League qualities. He's proved a couple of times to be a decent Championship 10, hasn't he? But yes, it's going to be tricky in the Premier League. He's got to make the step up, hasn't he? Reading at home to Huddersfield next weekend. There we go. Cardiff are in one of the shootout games, aren't they? Right, finally, it is Watford versus Brentford. We are on the beach in this one as well, even with Brentford going to be in the playoffs in the end of season shake-up there. And it's 2-0. Watford, well, forgive them. Norwich lost their next 2 games, didn't they, after they were announced promotion? So we can forgive Watford one, can't we, here? And Brentford win this one 2-0 with Ivan Toney's 30th goal of the season. A tremendous achievement from Ivan Toney, the first player since Glenn Murray to score 30 in the Championship. And then only, let me get this right, who else has done it? Lee Hughes and Guy Whittingham are the only other 2 to get 30 or above since the rebrand to the Premier League in 92-93. And I know we have Millwall fans in here, so let's mention Teddy Sheringham. What year was that? 90? 91? He got nearly 40, didn't he, Sheringham? So, look, however you slice it, whatever the league's called, scoring 30 goals in a 46-game season is mighty impressive from Ivan Toney. There are your teams: Raya, Janssen, Norgard, Sørensen, Kanyos, Roslev, Jensen, Bidstrup gets a start, Fosu, Toney, and Force. For Watford, Backman, Cathcart, Ciaralta, Cabasele, Messina, so no Ekong in there. No Firmino either. Gosling, Hughes, Cleverly, no Chalobah. Sema, Gray, Hungbo, no Sarr, no João Pedro. So a few players rested, we would suspect. Here is Marcus Force sticking in the opener, following in at the far post. And here is the moment. Toney himself goes over the normally excellent Ciaralta there. And he sticks in a 9th penalty of the season to get to 30. A brilliant achievement from Toney. 30 goals in a league season, first since Glenn Murray. And as we've just explored, only the 3rd player since 92-93 to hit 30 league goals in a second-tier season. Here are the tables. And look at that. If Watford were to lose the final game against Swansea, Brentford could actually finish 1 point behind. Fair play to Brentford. Our 10-year average, lovely little spreadsheet tells us that 84 points on average over the past 10 seasons has won automatic promotion. So they've met the 10-year average, but unfortunately, they've also met Watford and Norwich in the same season, who have scored well more than that 84 average. So Brentford are going to finish in 3rd. And the likelihood is, well, you don't know, do you, what's going to happen on the last day of the season. But the likelihood is, what is the goal difference, by the way, really quickly? So Swansea's is 19. Bournemouth's, Jesus, is 29. And Barnsley's is 8. So there is a chance everything stays as it is, isn't there? Barnsley are playing Norwich. Swansea are playing Watford. I don't know, Bournemouth are playing on the last day of the season. Someone will tell me in the chat. But it could well be Brentford versus Barnsley in the playoffs. Interesting. We saw that brilliant win for Barnsley at Brentford on Valentine's Day. But I do believe Brentford won at Oakwell, didn't they? Did they win 1-0? Pass, I can't remember. But there you go. There is the table. Let's have a look at your comments. Start to have a think at about your team of the week, game of the week. Don't put them in yet, so I get a nice row of them, but start to have a think. Bournemouth v Stoke. Thank you, Morgan. Come on, Brentford in the playoffs. Props to Brentford, absolutely. Super Kev only got to 29, and we can explore that in, although he did get 35 in all competitions. And Alex, to be very pedantic about this, I don't class playoff goals as to the total. So if you included playoff goals, he did get to 30 in a season, but it's they're not regular season league goals, are they? New season at Brentford is now starting to yield delicious fruits. New system. Sorry, misread that. 1991, 38 for Teddy, and 42 for Whittingham. No one's going to be topping that unless we get a really ridiculous player. But let's be honest, if we do get a player that good in the Championship, some Premier League club are going to drop a boatload of cash on, and they won't last the season anyway. Will they? Brentford becoming the Peterborough of the Championship with their strikers every season? Absolutely. Right. Let's have a think now then, guys. Apologies, you're going to have to put up with the dodgy connection. I'll log everything off in a minute. Just for this last bit, team of the week. Let me give you some options. Team of the week. Let's just do an experiment this week. You are not allowed to vote for the team you support. Even if you believe they are the team of the week, you are not allowed to vote for the team you support. We'll just do an experiment and see if we get a more credible answer. So you could go for Cardiff winning 4 at Birmingham. You could go for Millwall winning 4 against Bristol City. Could go for Norwich confirmed as champs. You could go for Preston, 3 straight wins. You could go for QPR. They've had a really good end to the season. You could go for Swansea for putting the cat amongst the pigeons in the relegation zone. You could go for Wycombe, who have been really fighting towards the end of the season and got a 1-0 victory. Let me know who is your team of the week, Brentford or Wycombe, Wycombe or Cardiff. Cardiff, 38 for Teddy, incredible, wasn't it? Wycombe. Millwall, sorry, I'm getting through these. Preston, Wycombe, Cardiff and keep it up. Norwich, QPR, Wycombe, QPR, Birmingham, Wycombe. I think, are we good on Wycombe for our team of the week? Let's do the same for goal of the week then. Again, we're just doing this as a little test. You're not allowed to vote for a player who plays for the team you support. Let's try and really go for credible answers. So, Harry Wilson, you could pick 2 of the 3 potentially for goal of the week. Who else? Maybe Jed Wallace's finish for Millwall, not sure. The Norwich free kick was very good, wasn't it? What about the second QPR goal? Kake, how good was that? Kake, Austin's goal was good as well. Oh, what about Roberts for Swansea? Cushion volley, right foot, lovely goal. Or Ikpeazu, the curler from the outside of the box from Wycombe. Let me go through all of those again. Goal of the week, guys. Ikpeazu, then Roberts, Kake, Quintia. Pick anyone you like, really. But and either one of the Wilson goals, the outside of the foot or the second free kick was tremendous, wasn't it? What are you guys saying in the chat on this one? Wilson. Okay, there we go. I assume we're talking about the first one with the outside of the foot. So let's give Harry Wilson the goal of the weekend. Right, brilliant stuff. My apologies again. We've had some issues with the setup here. We try and get through to the end of the season without any big problems, for sure. But we will be reviewing the setup and the internet and everything ahead of next season. We've already gone over the hour, so I won't do any Q&A today. I will say thank you to you guys. It's been absolutely brilliant this season to be able to have a regular powwow after every round of games. This show will continue on next season and after the playoffs. So let me know if you want a shout out at the end of this one, and we'll do a couple of shout outs really, really quickly. What I should do as well, because I am actually contractually obliged and I'd forgotten, 20% off your order, Cards Plug. Visit cardsplug.com/Bloom. Enter the discount code Bloom at checkout. Thank you, everybody who's been visiting Cards Plug so far under the promotion. Brilliant stuff. Thank you to Russ, fan sponsor of this show, fan and now friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Thank you to the super chatters. It was Owen today who was the king of the bin. Please hit subscribe, ring the bell. What number? Like 15,600 now. It's going up really, really nice and quickly now. So that's absolutely brilliant. Right, let's do some shout outs. To QPR Forever, we did a happy birthday to his mother, Sheila. Ridley, only enjoyable thing about this season is a kind of thank you, Ridley. Very, very kind. Amanda T, legend. Should be doing Baggies Wolves. Let me have a word with HQ first. ON legend, thank you so much for the super chat. See you on Saturday, hopefully. Tuesday, Toby. Yeah, very much so. And guys, playoff week is going to be carnage. Be here on playoff week. It's going to be great. No problem, Ben. We don't need to see you, only hear you. There we go. Smash the like. Thank you, Jez. That was Mr. Reeve, by the way. Tom Mollett, thank you. Nick Tomlin, thank you. Nat, give our best to Shady. I'll do that as soon as I'm done. Matt, every time you come on in, Matt, I say, right, we're going to do something together because I'm a fan of your work. So we will get that done. I promise. And thank you to everybody else. Leeds 2021. He's always here, isn't he? Legend. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm going to log this computer off and hit it with a hammer, I think, and my internet router, restart it a few times. Thank you, everybody. We will be back for possibly Baggies and West Brom if we can get the stream stable. Dearly departed tomorrow, and either I'll be doing Blue Monday tomorrow night, or we will have a look at Luton versus Rotherham, which will be fun. Bring on the carnage. I think we can all get behind that. And that sums up the end of the season in the Championship. Thank you for everybody for watching, and it's a big over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.